My name is Jenny, and this is my spouse, David. We live in a city in Ontario, Canada. After being in Canada for 2 years, we made a major decision. We bought a house in Canada. We thought buying a house would be the best decision of our lives. Turns out it was the biggest mistake we ever made, and nobody warned us about it. Buying a house, it's the dream, right? Everyone tells you that owning a house is the ultimate goal, the smartest investment. But what they don't tell you is that the reality can be much more complicated and painful. My spouse and I were so excited to get the keys to our new place. But that excitement quickly turned into sleepless nights, unexpected bills, and second guessing if we had actually done the right thing. If you're thinking about buying a house, you will want to hear our story first. When we came to Canada, everybody was asking us, when are you buying a house? So with all the pressure, we thought we were missing out on something. So we quickly decided to buy a house as soon as possible. We saved up all the money we could. We cut our expenses to the barest minimum. We read all the blogs, even got advice from family and friends who had bought homes before us. Everybody said the same thing. It will be tough at first, but it's worth it. But what no one told us were the hidden costs, the mental stress, and the emotional roller coaster we were about to ride. Honestly, it's something we wish we knew before jumping in. Buying a house isn't always the straight path to happiness you might think. So if you're on the fence or in the middle of your home buying process, stick around and hear me out. We're going to share the raw, real story about the things nobody talks about. And believe me, it's not all sunshine and roses. But how did we get ourselves into this mess in the first place? It all started with the pressure. You know, that feeling that everyone around you is buying a house and you're just renting. We felt it everywhere. Social media, family gatherings, even casual conversations with co-workers. Oh, you're still renting? When are you buying a place? It was like if you weren't buying a house, you weren't a real human being. Like you were somewhat strange. For me, it was even worse. I couldn't shake this feeling that I was falling behind. All my friends were posting pictures of their new homes on Instagram. And here I was, still living in this cramped apartment. The pressure weighed on me every day. It wasn't just from outside either. Deep down, I started convincing myself that if we didn't buy now, we would never get another chance. Interest rates were low. The housing market was heating up. Everyone said it was the perfect time to buy. The more we thought about it, the more it seemed like we had no choice. We had to buy, and we had to do it fast. So we rushed, and we bought the house. You are asking if we didn't do the research? We did it, but we were rushing through the steps, just trying to secure a place before someone else snatched it from under us. Every open house felt like a competition, and the fear of missing out was real. There was this one house we liked, but it needed a lot of work. Our agent said, "Don't worry about it. You can fix it over time." In hindsight, that should have been a red flag, but we were so desperate to get in, we ignored all of that. I remember sitting in the kitchen of that house, imagining our future there. I could see us having dinner parties, decorating for the holidays, even starting a family. The image was so perfect in my head that I didn't notice the cracks in the wall, the outdated plumbing, or the roof that needed replacing. We thought, it's fine, we'll figure it out later. But later came much sooner than we expected. The financial reality hit us like a ton of bricks. Sure, we had saved up for the down payment. We even factored in the monthly mortgage. But what nobody told us about were the extra costs, the closing fees, the property taxes, the home insurance. It's like every week there was a new expense we hadn't planned for. And don't get me even started on maintenance. A month into owning the house, we found out that the heating system was outdated and needed replacing. That was a $5,000 bill we didn't have. We dipped into our savings, thinking it was a one-time thing. But then it was the roof, then plumbing, then the appliances. It felt like we were constantly pouring money into a black hole. Every time we thought we were finally caught up, another surprise expense popped up. Now, here's the part that nobody really talks about: the mental toll. Sure, we loved having our own place, but the constant worry about money, it started taking over everything. I remember waking up in the middle of the night, panicking about whether we had made the biggest mistake of our lives. Were we going to end up broke because of this house? What if something major went wrong? My spouse tried to stay positive, but I could tell he was stressed too. We weren't just worried about the house. We were worried about our future. The thought of being stuck in a financial hole for the next 30 years was terrifying. At one point, I even regretted buying the house. I wished we could go back to renting, where things felt simpler and we didn't have the weight of a mortgage hanging over us. The turning point came when we finally sat down and had a serious conversation. We couldn't keep going on like this, constantly stressed about money and repairs. So we made a plan. First, we had to accept that this house wasn't going to be perfect right away. We needed to prioritize the most urgent repairs and take the rest one step at a time. We also started looking into ways to cut costs, like shopping around for better insurance rates, refinancing our mortgage, and learning how to do some of the repairs ourselves. But more importantly, we had to change our mindset. This house wasn't going to be a dream home overnight, and that was okay. We had to remind ourselves that home ownership is a long game. It's about building something over time, not instant gratification. At this point, I invite you to like the video and please subscribe to the channel if you want me to continue to make these videos. Okay, let's get back to the story. So here are the things that we wish we knew before buying a house. First, never rush into it. I know the pressure is real, but take your time. Make sure the house you're buying is the right one for you, not just the one that is available. Secondly, don't underestimate the costs. I mean it. There's a lot more to home ownership than just the mortgage. Be prepared for the unexpected because it will come. And finally, remember that it's okay if things aren't perfect right away. You're building a house. You're building a home, not just a house. Looking back, we don't regret buying the house, but we do wish that we had been more prepared for what came after. If we could go back, we would do things a little bit differently. We would be more patient, more cautious, and more realistic about what owning a home really means. Because the truth is, nobody tells you how hard it can be, but we're telling you now. So if you're thinking about buying a house, don't let the excitement cloud your judgment. Do your homework, understand the costs, and be ready for the ups and downs that come with home ownership. It is a huge decision, probably one of the biggest you will ever make, and it deserves careful thought. Learn from our own mistakes, and hopefully your experience will be a little smoother. Now tell me, what regrets do you have about buying a house? What are some of your own thoughts on what to prepare before buying a house? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to explore the rent-to-own option of getting your own home, check out this video here, where an expert explains how rent-to-own works and how you can get started with it. Again, thanks so much for watching and see you in the next video.